Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to record it so that we can have this to share for later if need be. If she pops on, I'm sure she'll get called up. But I want to thank Abby because she's really pulling through for us here. She even told me that she created a PowerPoint to go along with this today to give us all some visuals. So I went down to her office immediately following our last directors meeting. I was like, okay, I almost pulled you upstairs, but I didn't want to put you on the spot. But I got some questions, and my center directors really want your input. So I talked her through, kind of where our centers are and how we've not necessarily been the greatest in the past at fully abiding by the outside food and beverage policy when it came to holidays and celebrations. And so that's something we're trying to get more, we're trying to do to fidelity in a better way this year. So she was more than happy to share her insights and how they make this work at their program at Crosby Head Start. So thank you, Abby, for pulling through for us, and I'll give you the floor.
All right, you're welcome. And I will put a disclaimer, I guess, on it too with the outside food and beverage policy, especially around the birthday celebrations. Once the parents see it, they get it, and they stop bringing in those cupcakes, because it can be a little challenge at first, but once you really dive deep into it and they actually come in and see their child's birthday celebration the way that we do it, they love it. So hopefully that'll be the case for you guys too. But let me see if I can share. Make sure I have the ability to share real quick.
Do I have to give you the ability? Okay, no, you got it. All right.
Okay, that came up. Okay, that works.
Yeah, we can see it.
Oh, hold on. Can you see the full screen or do you see the black screen too?
I can see the full screen.
Okay. Okay.
It looks like you're presenting.
Okay, that's what I was worried about. Okay, hold on.
Do you not want to like you're presenting?
No, because I was gonna do I want it to be full screen so you can see.
It
Hold
is
on.
full screen.
Okay, but do you see the black with the next slide?
No.
Okay, so we're good. So you just see the birthday slide.
Correct.
Okay, it looks different on my side, so that's why I was I was wondering what it looked like.
I think we're good to go.
Okay, cool. All right, so for birthday celebrations, we have a sheet that we fill out. If a parent asks us if they, if we do birthday celebrations, there is a form, and I just broke down in these slides what is on those forms. So the children get to do a food experience, a special item, and then a special activity. So if the parent asks, we present them the form. They can circle whether they want muffins, smoothie, parfait, or a fruit salad. It's up to the family. We provide all of the food and we let them know at that point that we will purchase everything that we need. I've had some classes at some point that have wanted to make their muffins. Our kitchen is downstairs, so we have to coordinate with our food service manager, but it's doable. If not, we buy them at the store for them. With the smoothies, we purchased blenders, and every classroom has a blender when they have a child that picks the smoothie. The teachers, of course, operate it. They keep it very safe. It doesn't live in the classroom. It only comes in when it's time for them to do their actual smoothie activity. And then the parfaits and the fruit salads, the kids usually work together. Like for the fruit salad, we'll put all the different fruits in little different bowls and they'll all work together to create the bowl. And the birthday child gets to pick their favorite fruit and, they get to do that and we make it a big deal with them when they're making the fruit salad, but they work together and they absolutely love it. Then they get to do a special item. The teachers can do a birthday banner. They can make a cape. We use the butcher paper to make a cape, and the kids all decorate it for the birthday child. Same with the paper crown. They can make a paper crown, and they can either have all the kids decorate it for the child, or the child can decorate their own, whichever they choose. Or a card can be made from all of the children and teachers to that child. So those are the first two activities that we do. And then the teachers and the families, they can work together to do a special activity in the classroom, which the options are to make a cake quilt, do a birthday tribute, they do a wrapping collage, or they can make a birthday book. And then the next slide I have here kind of breaks down what each one of those are. I won't read it to you. I'll send this to you, Rachel, so you can have it. So you'll know kind of what the materials are. And we invite our parents in. They're very much a part of this process. And they work together with the teachers to, do these fun activities, which whatever they choose for their child. And it becomes a big deal. We happened to have a birthday yesterday. So I was able to get some pictures of kind of what we do. We decorate the tables, we make it fun, we get a birthday banner, we get birthday plates, and here they had the child chose muffins. So we got muffins here, and then they just ate their regular snack that we feed them. They sing happy birthday, we bring in our music machine and just make it a party. And they love it. They love, every part of it. The kid feels very special. So it's just a pretty, simple way just to do a birthday celebration without having all of the sugar. And the kids really don't ever ask for cake or cupcakes or anything like that. Once they see that the classroom is decorated, because we typically do it at the end of the day based on the classroom schedule. We do it during our snack time. So we don't have sinks and bathrooms in our classroom. So we got to leave the classroom. And when they come back in, the room is decorated. So it's a big to do for our kids, but they love it. But again, we purchase everything for this. We don't ask the parents for anything. And, the reason, again, is the outside food and beverage policy. If we have children that have allergies or anything like that, we do adapt to that as well, to make sure that the food that's coming in the classroom is safe for all the children. Yes, Rachel.
What do you think is the most popular, what's the most popular activity that parents choose, or I guess the kids choose for, like, between the quilt and the collage? What was the other options? I can't remember now, but
I can go back.
the birthday, yeah. What do you think tends to be the most popular?
So we had a parent last year that was very creative, and she did the birthday book for most of the children that were in the classroom. And she would come in, she was like, oh, let me know when we have a birthday. And she would come in and she would sit down and she would help the parent. Like, the parent would bring in pictures of with the child from when they were a baby until now. We would provide the construction paper and all that kind of stuff for them. And they would create the books, and then the parent would read the book. So the book last year for us was the biggest one, because I had a parent that just took full control of it. The other activities, we really haven't had, I wouldn't say a popular one, but the kids, for the paper crown or the cape or anything like that, the cape for us has been by far the favorite thing. They wear it all day long, and they love it. And if, something happens to it, it's, the end of the world, but we create another one really quickly.
Right.
But that's been our biggest, like, craft item, I guess, when it comes to the birthday. They love that cape. And then in second place, of course, would be the crown.
Yeah. I was
Everybody
thinking
loves
the
a
crown's
crown.
probably popular. And do you think that, I'm sure not all of these things would necessarily be appropriate and as easy to implement in an early Head Start
Right.
classroom as it would be in a regional Head Start classroom, but what, if any of these things do you think would be the most conducive for sort of shifting it downward to the younger age group?
I would think maybe if you went back to I would say maybe a birthday banner, because all of the kids could definitely, you could do a handprint. That's a big thing, is making a banner with all the kids' handprints, happy birthday, whatever the child's name is. Um, Crown too, I think, would be a really cute, thing for the early children. For us, we can, with the cape, we kind of keep them real safe. With the string around them, it could be a little tricky for the early kids. But you
Hmm.
could adapt that, maybe making the neck part a part of the actual.
And maybe a
I
piece of
can see the
Velcro.
visual in my head. Instead of a string, just cut maybe a head hole in the paper for the early kids. As far as like the special activities, the book, the parent creates that. So that's something, I think a book would be real easy to make for an early child too. You could just do a bunch of pictures and then, include pictures of them at school, and that kind of stuff. But I think, some of these, yeah, you probably wouldn't want to do in an early classroom, but for
Mhm.
the most part, I think it could be adapted.
Yeah. I mean, definitely, I feel like our centers could take these examples and create their own from what
Mm-hmm.
they don't have to do all three of these things. These are just sort of ideas to kind of get the wheels turning. I do
Yes.
think though, from the way you've described it, I feel like it actually it encourages is the word I'm looking for. It encourages actually, I feel like more parent involvement
Mm-hmm.
than just showing up with a tray of cupcakes
Yeah.
and all that jazz.
Yeah.
And
And
kind of
my
helps them
teachers
feel a
really
little
do.
more involved, like it's a party.
Right. Yeah. And my teachers really do a good job of making it a party. And those are my expectations for them, is to really show the families that this can be done without it being cupcakes, cakes, all the sugary stuff that we know that they're going to get probably at home. But we kind of give them an alternative way to celebrate it that's more on the healthy side. And I've had parents say, that was awesome, and child didn't really have any sugar at all. It's
Right.
just about the experience more than actually what they're eating. Especially at this age, we know they like to just lick off the icing on a
Yeah,
cupcake,
they
and
do.
that's pretty much all they
They
do.
lick it off and leave that cake sitting right there.
They do. But muffins are something that they eat every day or every week, not every day, but every week here at school.
Hmm.
So they're used to it and they get excited when that's the snack. So, we get kind of a larger size muffin for them. So it's a little bit different than what they get at snack time. And they love it. They do. But I
Awesome.
think it's, teacher participation and the teachers making it special is a really big part of it as well.
Hmm.
But
And didn't you
everything
also tell me that you sort of at the beginning of the year that you kind of stock up on party supplies so that you
we
just
do.
have what you need on hand? Okay.
We do. So we have a birthday bin upstairs in our storage room where I go and raid Walmart. We buy tablecloths, party hats. This classroom, from the classroom that had the party yesterday, I don't know if you can see it in some of the pictures. They have little noise makers. So they were musical instruments. So they had a good time. The birthday band is what they ended up calling it. And we just have a whole bin upstairs that we just keep everything on hand. Because sometimes parents will drop it at the last minute. Hey, my child's birthday is tomorrow. What do you guys do? I try to get a 2-week notice so we can make sure that we have everything that we need, but sometimes we have to run out last minute and get stuff. But I just like to keep something on hand, a big bucket on hand so my teachers can just go get what they need, to be able to celebrate the child who the parent has requested that happen.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome. And then Rachel, you want me to talk about the holidays too?
Sure. I think that would be great. I think this would be
Okay.
a good topic to go ahead and cover since we're already talking about celebrations.
Okay. So, with holidays, we don't celebrate them by saying Happy Halloween, Happy Merry Christmas, any of that kind of stuff. And sometimes our teachers and staff can get stuck on, well, we don't celebrate holidays, but we do, and there's always a way around everything. We just make it educational. So I broke down some of our favorite ones that we do here. So this is Halloween. So for Halloween, we do a character pumpkin parent engagement event. Rachel has actually come out and has been a judge for
It's
us, but
so fun.
yeah, each classroom is, they pick a book character or some type of character. And we invite our parents in and they come in and they all work together to create those characters. And it's each class for themselves. and then we have a competition to see, which one is voted the best. But it's a great way to get the parents involved and they love it. I've seen some dads that are just very much competitive when it comes to this. I think, were you here the year for the Ninja Turtles?
Is that the same? I think so. I think it was the same year as the one where I think one of your classrooms, all their pumpkins did a character of Brown Bear, Brown Bear.
Yes, that was the
Yeah.
same
Uh-huh.
year. Yep,
Yeah.
same year. And they get very competitive and the parents get into it. We make sure that the rules are that, the children are engaged in it as well. And we also get little pumpkins for the kids to be able to paint and decorate to take home however they want to. And everything is donated to us. We go out and we ask for donations, being that we are a Head Start location, and we usually get a great response from the community. We also do a book parade. So the last week of October is our Spirit Week. So we know the kids on Halloween love to dress up in their costumes. Instead of telling them that they can come in their costumes, we just say they need to come as a book character. Whether they do or don't, we don't control that piece of it. But that's their day to, dress up how they want to. We do fun stuff throughout that week. And then typically the last day, which is closest to Halloween, our book parade happens. Each classroom they pick a book, whatever their favorite book, or, the kids vote on. They typically make it an education lesson for the day. And then they create other costumes that go over whatever the kids are wearing. That is a book. I think we've got Chicka Chicka Boom Boom here, and the Very Hungry Caterpillar. And then we just go out and we parade around the front of our building, and then we go around the parking lot, and the neighborhood comes out and they cheer them on. It's a great time, and the kids have a ball with that. So that's kind of how we celebrate Halloween. It's how we get around from not just saying Happy Halloween. And they don't know any different either, so they think that they're celebrating it, and we just,
Well, I
keep it
think it's
moving.
also great because I think that it also shows families that you're celebratory, but you are making it educational. And honestly,
Yes.
I think it's so much more creative. I think it just involves so much more creativity to be like, okay, our whole classroom is going to dress up as Chicka Chicka Boom Boom than to just come randomly as whatever you want to be. I think it just
Yep.
adds a little more. I think it adds a little more excitement,
It does, and
personally.
the kids love it. We have all the neighbors that come out too. That are right here when you go out our front doors. Like all those neighbors know that we have our book parade every year, and they come out on their porches, and the kids just they have a chant for whatever book they are. And the neighbors get into it and they love it, and it's an awesome experience for them. And they talk about it for probably the next couple of weeks after it happens. um, so yeah, we love it. But every part of all of these activities, there's something educational behind it. But it's
And it's
still
worked into your lesson plan, I
it is. It's
presume.
worked into our
Yeah.
lesson plans. And it goes also to when the families come in kind as well. We could generate in kind that way. And we're required to have, parent involvement and parent engagement in our program as well, too. And some of these activities that we do for holidays are also our male engagement events, too, that we're supposed to have. That's
Excellent.
Halloween.
Thank you, ma'am.
Christmas is another one. That's a big one. So we make it not really Christmassy, but we focus more on winter. So we have a giving tree that lives in our front lobby, and each classroom they make what we consider ornaments, but we call them shapes. They have to choose a shape, and the child gets to decorate the shape, and then they hang the shape on the tree. Um, this is another time when we go out into the community. Our family services and our teachers go out and ask for donations, because we know that our families are going to be out for the Christmas break, and some of them have food insecurities and that type of stuff. So we go out looking for donations, and all the donations go out under the tree until the last day before winter break. And then the families are able to basically go shopping as they're getting ready to leave for the Christmas break. And they get to take, whatever items they want to take from underneath the tree. But, the tree stays up from the beginning of December until Christmas break, and the kids love it. They think it's a great time. They love looking at their decorations that they put on them. So we do that. And then we also do a gingerbread house activity. Last year, we ended up doing cardboard gingerbread houses. Typically, we make it a food event where we would use graham crackers and blueberries, strawberries, cream cheese, and that kind of stuff. So we went kind of a different route this past school year, and actually it turned out a little bit better. It's not as messy either. But this was more geared towards, we had several classrooms that were doing the construction project study. So this kind of worked right into construction with building the houses, putting them together, and then decorating them. And they were gingerbread houses. So it falls in line with the holiday season. We invited our parents in. They got to, decorate it, create different things with their child, and then they got to put it on their gingerbread houses. And then we displayed the gingerbread houses out in the hallway for everybody to see until about mid-January. They stayed out there. They started falling apart, but and then the last thing we do is a winter wonderland. We decorate our whole hallway, all the classroom doors and everything around winter wonderland, and that stays up from about mid-December to the end of January. So it kind of has a long shelf life, and we keep it winter. We kind of stay away from Christmassy stuff. The one here with the fireplace, they were doing the clothing study at the time, so they made socks. So they weren't stockings, they were socks.
Clever,
That
clever.
hung, yeah, that hung by the fireplace. So that's why that scene was up there. But everything we take from our project studies and build around that too. And it's always included in the project study. But it's kind of our way around celebrating Christmas without saying Merry
Mhm.
Christmas, because we, got children of different religions and different beliefs and that kind of stuff. So we keep it more winter focused during December and January.
Have you ever done a Christmas around the world? I know that some centers have done that in the past.
We haven't bridged that kind of gap, I guess, with that. We keep it again more winter related and
Hmm.
not as Christmassy. Because we've
Maybe I
had
should say
some,
holidays around the world, not necessarily
yeah,
Christmas around the
we
world.
you probably could.
Hmm.
Um, but that's just something we've kind of never really, I guess, gone to that part. It's always been more winter. The
Yeah.
most Christmassy thing we have is, of course, our tree, and the kids call it a Christmas tree. I mean, we talk to them. We tell them it's the giving tree and what the purpose behind the giving tree is. But yeah, we've never really done like holidays around the world.
Yeah. Fair
It's
enough.
not to say that you can't.
Right.
But just to be on the safe side, I stay away from, I guess, things that could be religious. We kind of stay
Yeah.
away from a
Well,
lot of
so
that.
we had talked about that in our meeting simply because we have some real diverse families in our
Hmm.
program currently. And I had suggested thinking about that simply because I think it would be good to poll the families on if any of them do celebrate something other than Christmas, maybe opening that up to them to come and talk about what they celebrate and why,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
as a parent engagement. But I could see how it could also get religiousy.
Yeah, and that's just, something that Tiffany Russell has always told me to stay away from.
Yeah.
So
I hear you. I
I
hear
just
you.
follow her advice, and we make it work, and the kids love it. They're very involved. From October to December, is go, go, go.
Yeah. Yeah.
With activities. I didn't include Thanksgiving in here, but we do a whole Friendsgiving where we put all of our tables in the hallway and all the kids eat together. That's not as, a bit, you can do a lot for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But I kind of skipped that one here, but we do have quite a bit that happens in November as well. But
Yeah.
I'm touching on, the bigger holidays, I guess. So that's
That's
Christmas.
awesome. I can't imagine. I don't think I've ever seen your center at Friendsgiving to see what that.
Oh,
I
well,
can only
come see.
imagine what that hallway looks like.
It's amazing. The kids decorate the tables, they make placemats. It's great. It's a good time. And then it's all the way down the hallway.
Yes, I bet it is. I bet it is.
It's a great, and Miss Kim makes us a very, very much a very large feast. So
Yes.
it's nice.
Yes.
Um, so this is Valentine's Day, and I will say Valentine's Day is probably our biggest holiday that we celebrate. Of course, it's called Friendship Day, not Valentine's Day. And we are showing love to our friends and our teachers. So we send home this letter that's in this picture to our families and have their children create these hearts. And we put the teachers' names, these little border paper things out in front of each classroom. And on Valentine's Day, Friendship Day, they come and they, put them up by their classroom, and the teachers get to read what the children love about them. And then we have a very big celebration, as close to Valentine's Day as we can get. We have our Prince and Princess Friendship Ball that we have in the cafeteria, and the kids make all of the decorations for the cafeteria. We get a DJ, we get food, and we just party the night away. They get to come in their pretty dresses and little suits that they wear, and they have a great time. And we just, celebrate our love for each other, and our love for our program. This is a big to do for us every year.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's
but
always a big hit.
it is. It's a very big hit. We draw a very large crowd. We've had children show up in limousines and little
Oh my gosh.
carriages and all kinds of stuff. The parents go all out for the ball. So
Like
it's a
prom
lot
for
of
pre-K.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a big event for us. But the kids love it. The parents love it too. It brings out all their little personalities, but we enjoy friendship/Valentine's Day. But we ask our parents not to bring any outside food during that actual school day. We'll provide, fun activities. We typically do a pink and red day also for snack, where they get to eat foods that are pink and red, and they get to have a good time in their classrooms. Um, but we just ask them, please, they can bring cards for their friends, but just make sure they don't bring the food and the candy with them.
Mm-hmm.
But that is our Valentine's Day. And then the last two are my favorite. Now, this one is my absolute favorite. This is my baby, is St. Patrick's Day. We have the Literacy Leprechaun who comes and he wreaks havoc in our center for the week of St. Patrick's Day. Throughout the school week and school day, he will hide his little gold coins that have letters on them, um, throughout the building, and the kids have to hunt and find them. And then when the kids find them, the teachers do activities with the kids, whether it be letter sounds, what are words that start with these letters. They do a lot of fun transition activities, and then the kids get to put the letters in um, the cauldron, and they get to see it build up throughout the week. And then we have a very large inflatable leprechaun who will make his appearance while the children are outside. So they never really see him in the hallway, but they know that he is present, and they just absolutely love it. He'll just stand out there and he'll watch them as they play, and they just feed into it like crazy. And then the last day, that's closest again to St. Patrick's Day, the reward is, once they have found all of his coins, that he will turn the classroom green, and he will come in and he will destroy it. And he leaves lots of educational things, pencils, stamps, shamrocks. And the teachers really make a lesson with it. If you see in one of the pictures, the teachers put everything in the sensory table, so that became a part of the day, and the kids got to explore what the leprechaun left, while they were playing in centers. This is my favorite holiday. The kids eat it up all week too. They
So
absolutely
creative.
love it. They
So
get into
creative.
it, and they are always looking for him. And when they come in from outside, they tell us all kinds of stories of, he dances while he's out there, and just have a good time with it. And the kids love it. And you could adapt it to early too. Um, and I know they're probably not working on letter sounds, but you could do whatever. You could put shapes on them. You could put
Mm-hmm.
really anything on them. That would be, in tied to the curriculum is
Yeah.
basically what we go with too. And then
Very
on the same,
cute.
yeah, and then on the same lines too, for Easter, we have the shape bunny that comes. It's the same concept as the leprechaun. The shape bunny hides all his shapes throughout the week, and we have a basket that the kids put it in. I couldn't find a picture of it. I have one, I just couldn't find it. And then the last day, the reward is, instead of calling it an Easter egg hunt, it's the shape bunny hunt, and we just hide eggs all over the playground and all the classrooms come out, and they get to hunt for their eggs, and then the shape bunny actually shows up and is a part of the activity outside, and we just have a great time. We make it a big party for the kids out there. That's Miss Sharita as our bunny, my education specialist. She loves dressing up, so that is her go-to. Her holiday is this one because she gets to have a lot of fun, and the kids are always guessing who's in there. But
Uh-huh.
the shape bunny shows up, and we just kind of get away from calling it an Easter bunny. We talk about it so much that they know it's not the Easter bunny. It's the shape bunny. So, But those are the
Okay.
major holidays and kind of how we do them without actually calling them holidays, what they are. So, but if
Well,
anybody has
you
any
guys
questions,
do even more. Listen, I knew you guys did some things. I didn't know several of these I didn't know about. So I'm impressed.
and there's several of them I left out. I kind of wanted to keep it, short. But there are,
Yeah.
there's something every month that we do. Um, Around holidays, activities. We have a March Madness tournament in March for the
That was popular with the
basketball.
dads.
Yes, that's our dad's thing. It's an in-kind tournament. And it really gets them involved. We do a Super Bowl party around Super Bowl time, which we turn our parent meeting into a Super Bowl party to get our parents involved, and they love that too. But these are the main big holidays that we celebrate, in the ways that we do it without actually, saying we're celebrating the holiday.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate the effort you put into providing us all this information. Um,
Absolutely.
do you ladies have any questions? Any thoughts? It's a lot of information.
No,
And
she
I
made
only
it
have
very
regional,
clear.
so
It looks like the kids are having a great time.
Yeah.
they love it. They, like I said, they talk about every one of them for several weeks later. The leprechaun one, they're always from March to the end of the year. They're always looking for that leprechaun. He's somewhere in this building. They're convinced he just never goes away, that he is, he's somewhere in this building. But
She put the
they do
bunny ears on the leprechaun and then
right. Right. But yeah, I found that he's probably about 9-10 feet. He's big. And I had found that a couple years ago, and it's
had to
been a
have
game
it.
changer for him.
Yeah. That's funny.
But
That's funny.
but yeah, I only have regional at my center, but I know it can be, adapted to early,
Mhm.
based on, whatever
Well, I think
develop.
too, some of the things that what I'm taking from this too, Candace probably gonna want to cover her ears, but I've had a huge goal in CCP in the last 2 or 3 years where we've been adding more and more like program wide events and things like, your Prince and Princess Ball, for instance,
Mhm.
at a smaller site that maybe only has 2 classrooms of 8 children, that's really not going to be necessarily feasible, right? But that something like that could be more feasible in a program wide where everybody
Absolutely.
comes together. And so we definitely, like with the art exhibition last year, that and our family night every year are 2 big ones that we do. And we are working smaller ones into this year as well. I had not really considered adding a third big one, but if we could keep it a simple third big one,
Mhm.
maybe we could. We'll see. I see you, Candace. So, anyways. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, truly, I really appreciate this, Abby. I really, really do. I'm going to figure out how to stop recording. I don't normally record things, and so let me see if I can't. There we go. Stop recording. Yeah. Just